How's it going, everybody? This is Mark here of the Onside Kick. It is Wednesday, Game 7 of the Blackhawks Red Wings series. This is it, winner go home. But I don't want to talk about that. My first instinct was to talk about the Blackhawks. But I don't know, I feel like we've been talking about that so much lately that I want to kind of move away from it and get to something else that's not really as prevalent right now, and that's some football. Is it too early to start doing mock drafts for fantasy football? This video is going to focus on two things. The first of which is Brian Urlacher, his retirement. We all know about it. But more importantly, the Bears are finally going to retire Ditka's number. Number 89 is finally going to get retired. But with that being said, George McCaskey added that that's going to be the last number that the Bears plan on retiring, meaning 54, Brian Urlacher's number, will not be retired. A lot of people got upset about that, and I got one thing to say, just one. It's not going to happen. They're going to retire the number. Just wait about 7-10 years, when he's in the Hall of Fame. They're definitely going to come back out. Just ignore that little comment that was made, and they're going to retire his number. So don't get upset. Don't get worried. It's going to happen. The McCaskies, we all know, they're the McCaskey family. They say dumb stuff and do dumb stuff all the time. Isn't this hat awesome? It's a shame I look stupid in these kind of hats. Moving on to some news that is not important but completely annoying is Ian Rappaport reporting via Twitter that there are multiple NFL teams with significant interest in JaMarcus Russell. The 27-year-old bust from Oakland who has spent, 3 years out of the league now, just kind of doing his thing, ruining his body, getting real fat. If you don't know much about JaMarcus Russell, I really recommend you look up the biggest bust in all of NFL history. Such a talented player coming out of college. Only really played until 2009, where he had that horrible season, only throwing for 1,400 yards, something like that, with 4 touchdowns. It was horrible. Absolutely horrible. The worst quarterback in 2009, without a doubt. But he's making his comeback, and he's dropped 50 pounds. He's back close to that weight that he was when he weighed in at his initial combine. He's been working out, trying to get back in the motion, I guess, get back into football shape. And Rappaport claims that there's significant interest from multiple teams. And this makes no sense to me. Why would you go for a player who already busted out of the league once? He hasn't been playing football, so he's not in shape. There's no guarantee he's going to be back to that ability that he was coming out of college, which was a lot of promise, not a lot of actual showing up. But with that being said, I just don't get it. There's guys like Vince Young is 3 years older than JaMarcus Russell, a guy who's proven himself. He's had some issues, but that Tennessee team was kind of a mess anyways. So really, I don't understand it. Who's going to want JaMarcus Russell? He's already busted out of the league. He's got maybe 5 years left before there's not really much worth it. He'll be 32 by then, at the end of 5 years. You sign him to a 1-year contract. You're not going to let him play. You're going to let him sit and watch. I don't understand it. People are suggesting maybe a team like the Broncos might be interested because he can sit there. He can watch under Peyton Manning. He can learn what a real good quarterback's going to do. But that doesn't make sense to me because Denver's been drafting quarterbacks every year to sit there and watch Peyton Manning. They've already kind of got that whole successor thing figured out. You could have a team like Belichick and his Patriots go get him because they're a team that's willing to take some risks. They always are willing to take a risk, but this would be the biggest risk that Belichick would put his name on. And it's just, to me, it's just not worth it. And Tom Brady's the kind of guy, he doesn't want some, I don't want to call JaMarcus Russell a big name, but he's going to be a media show. You don't want that media show behind Tom Brady. Tom Brady's not the kind of guy who wants that. It doesn't make sense to me because, maybe he could sit behind Carson Palmer. Is he really going to learn that much from Carson Palmer, though? Carson Palmer's basically done. And then you're going to just kind of hope that Russell can get in there and be a good quarterback again? It doesn't make sense to me. He's 27 years old. He's 1 year younger than Brandon Weeden was when he was drafted. And people had a huge issue about taking a starting quarterback who's 28 years old. Huge issue for the Browns. And now they're going to just kind of be like, it's okay for, Arizona to do it. It's okay for Jacksonville to do it. Pick up some guy who's 27 years old who will not start that first year. If you take JaMarcus Russell, you don't start him right away. He's not ready. He's got to sit there. He's got to learn a little bit, get kind of back into the mood of football. So, he's not going to start till he's, 28? And with that being said, you're not going to sign this guy for more than a 1 year deal. He's going to get a 1 year deal. You're not going to put that much of a risk on your own team and sign him to multi-year. So, maybe he shows up in, training camp, does really well, does well in the preseason, maybe gets some garbage time minutes at the end of the year. And then what happens? He walks after a year? You're going to have to re-sign him for bigger money because he kind of sort of proved himself. No, this whole JaMarcus Russell thing makes no sense. I severely doubt that there's any significant interest. I wouldn't be surprised if some teams are making calls and going, hey, this JaMarcus thing, is this real? Is this guy really doing what they say he's doing? He's really down to his weight? Okay, would he be interested in playing tight end? I bet that's the only thing that's going on. It's similar to the Tebow situation of people, teams asking, hey, would you be willing to play a different position? There was a while where we joked that JaMarcus Russell could play defensive tackle or defensive end. But yeah, this makes no sense to me. I saw this and I just thought it was completely stupid, completely ridiculous. Ian Rappaport, I'm not the biggest fan of Rappaport anyways, even though I do follow him on Twitter. Which, speaking of Twitter, follow the Onside Kick at OnsideKickReal. But anyways, yeah, I just saw this and I was amazed that somebody would attempt to say that there's significant interest in JaMarcus Russell. I think Rappaport just wants to be the guy reporting it because he's the only one really reporting it. So that way, just in case. And even in the thing, he said that he couldn't name any teams because they wanted to stay anonymous, which does make sense, but at the same time, it also makes sense that you would say, oh, there's so many teams that are interested. I can't tell you who, though. It's like my girlfriend up in Canada who, she can't come visit me because she's really busy. She works a lot. She works 2 jobs. And we don't really talk on the phone that much because, she doesn't really like talking on the phone, and it's a different country, so it's just not real, basically. I could have went with the Linnea Kakua joke, but I decided to give Manti Te'o a break this time. To sum things up, go follow us on Twitter, Onside Kick Real, like us on Facebook. JaMarcus Russell, out of the league, should stay out of the league. Go play in the CFL with Tim Tebow. Have fun, you guys. You guys can be the face of the CFL.